We continue with a lesson in tolerance and forgiveness.
Chances are you're watching this right now with your phone or your tablet in hand or nearby, social media at the ready. But for one Connecticut man convicted of a hate crime, this right here, this is where it all started. It's an NBC Connecticut exclusive.
Allahu Akbar. I feel I owe them for the forgiveness that I was given.
Ted Hakey Jr. spends his days working to repay his gratitude to a Meriden community he's grown to love.
La ilaha illallah.
It's a far cry from what he felt in his heart 2 years ago.
I was a Muslim hater.
Ted's hatred made headlines in November 2015.
A former Marine is now charged with a hate crime for shooting at a Meriden mosque.
When he found himself intoxicated and fed up with attacks halfway around the world.
The night of the Paris attacks, you could see the mosque clearly from my house. Went to get out of the car and looked over, and I was kind of thought, well, let me do something about it.
He fired 30 shots from a high-powered rifle in the middle of the night. 4 of those bullets tore through the Ahmadiyya Baitul Aman Mosque.
If I'd stayed over, I might not be here today. One of them was through here.
Zahir Manin is one of the mosque leaders. He points out those bullets didn't just pierce walls.
Where you see the bullet wounds, they're right through where the imam stands for prayers.
Allahu Akbar. They shot fear through the heart of the Ahmadiyya community. They're the only Muslims who share one particular belief.
Believing that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was the Messiah has made us the subject of persecution all over the world, but not here in America.
It took federal and local authorities just hours to trace the bullets back to this Main Street neighborhood. The FBI arrested Ted Hakey Jr. on federal hate crime charges.
This is where Ted says it all began. Facebook, Twitter, social media not only led to his hatred of Islam, it fueled it.
That was my education of Islam, was just little snippets people would take and put on, and and then after every event would happen, I would kind of buy into that.
It was a fear of the unknown, one that would change Ted's life forever when he requested a sit-down with mosque leaders to apologize.
Tell me about that first meeting, when you got the first moment to come face-to-face with Ted.
You know, this huge, like, bodybuilder type guy comes in, and to see tears humbled us as well. It was a genuine connection.
If they handled this in any other way, my views, I would have went to prison angry. I would have came out and I would have been just as angry.
Ted says it wasn't just their words, it was their actions as well. He spent 6 months in federal prison, and Zahir kept a promise, visiting him every other week. He also gifted him precious keepsakes, including his grandfather's Holy Quran.
We talk about things that I hardly, I don't even discuss with some of my best friends. You know, we're just, it just became a relationship that was really very tight.
He became my brother when he prayed next to me. He prayed with me, and he didn't have to do that.
Do you consider yourself a changed man?
Oh, absolutely.
Ted hasn't converted to Islam, but he does spend his time spreading the word. He hopes his story inspires others to embrace the community that's taught him the true meaning of forgiveness.
Knock on the door. You're always welcome. There's no members only thing in there, no secret handshake, you don't need a card, everybody's welcome. I felt that I owe them just to get it out there so that people don't make the same mistake I did.
And Ted really has come full circle. Last year, he spoke at the oldest and largest Muslim convention in the country. You know, Jared, the community considers his story a bit of a blessing in disguise. The mosque invites the public in every Friday night. They call it Coffee, Cake, and Conversation. And Ted has been instrumental in bringing a whole new demographic through the doors.
What I found really interesting is how Ted's mind was poisoned, and then how it was opened.
Yeah, it was all done through education. Just knowledge, just simply sitting down, talking to someone. It's a lesson we can all learn these days.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Keisha.